If you like the sound of that lick I just played, this video is going to be perfect for you, because today we're going to be speaking about feel on the guitar and how we can give more life to our playing. What is feel on the guitar? Well, feel, in my opinion, is what separates an okay guitarist from a great guitarist. And in fact, if you gave me two tracks to listen to, one by a great guitarist with no feel and the other one by a beginning guitarist with lots of feel, I would 9 times out of 10 choose to listen to the beginner because his playing has more life to it. Now, there are many ways we can tackle feel on the guitar and how to give our playing more life, but today I'm going to be speaking about 2 points in particular, which are bending and vibrato. And then towards the end, we're also going to combine them together to create a super cool way and a super cool sound that gives our playing so much life and soul to it. We're first going to start by talking about bending, which I'm sure you all know what it means to bend a string on the guitar. But before we start bending any strings, we are first going to talk about intervals. Now, intervals come in either a half step or a whole step. They can also be more than that. They can be a whole and a half, they can be a whole and a whole, but for the sake of this video and to keep it simple, we're just going to talk about 2 intervals, which is a half step and a whole step. A half step on the guitar would just mean that we are moving up 1 fret, so a semitone, whereas a whole step would mean that we are moving up 2 whole frets on the guitar, which is a whole tone. Now, why is this important when it comes to bending? Well, when we bend, we are trying to bend in tune, and all we are doing is taking a note and bending the string till it matches the next interval or the next note. So let's start off by talking about half step bends and how to bend in tune. So here's our half step bend. We are going to try and hit this note here, which is a D. All we are going to do is move back 1 fret and try to bend the string slightly just till we land on that note, which is a D. Now, a super cool way for you to check if you're in tune is just to play the note when it's at the top of its bend and then play the note in its natural form and see if they match. So let's do that again. D, bend, so that was us bending up a semitone or bending up a half step. Now we're going to talk about bending up a whole step or a whole tone on the guitar. Now we're going to do a whole step bend. We're going to take the same note, a D once again. And now we're going to move back 2 frets and bend the string even higher till we land on the D once again. Was slightly out of tune if you can hear it. So this is what it would sound like if you were out of tune. See, they don't match. Once again, let's go too little now. So I've shown you when you go over and under what it will sound like. You know, the note doesn't match, of course. So a super simple exercise for you guys would be to try bending the note with every finger, from your pointer finger to your pinky finger and everything in between. And also to bend every single string. You can bend on any string on any note. And a pro tip for you would be that when you bend with these high 3 strings, the G, B and E, you should ideally bend the strings upwards, especially on that high E, because you'll fall off of the guitar. And then when it comes to the low strings, the low E, the A and the D, you should bend downwards. Well, at least I find it's much easier when you bend downwards. You have more room on the fretboard. And again, with the low E this time, you would also fall off of the guitar if you bent upwards. So let's bend the note with every single finger. So we're gonna go for this note here. So pointer finger, middle finger. So as you can see, I used my pointer finger to help me lift my middle finger. Now I can use both fingers for the ring finger. And now the pinky, which is quite tough. And it matches perfectly. So something that will also make your bending much easier is using those fingers which are behind the one you're bending with. So let's say we're bending with our ring finger. We put the other 2, the middle and the pointer finger, down on the neck, and we use them as leverage to really get strength over our bend, okay? They really help us to bend upwards. So let's try that in a few different places. Let's take here. Half step, let's take a half step over here. And here are a few bends on the low string. half step. Great, now you know how to bend in tune, but now we're going to speak about the bread and butter of feel and life on the guitar, which is vibrato. All vibrato is us shaking our hand and the neck of the guitar in a way that makes the note wiggle up and down, okay, between the intervals we spoke about. So for example, here we're not going to be bending up a half step, we're just going to be wiggling in that little space that is in between the half steps. So we're going to technically be bending up and down just a little, but we're going to be giving a vibrating feel, which gives a really cool sound to the notes and gives so much life and soul to your playing. Okay, so let's take a close look at my hand when I'm giving vibrato and the movement it makes. So here we're going to take this note, which is a C. And now we're going to play it with vibrato. So I'm going to use my pointer finger. So as you can see, my hand gives that vibrating motion, the neck moves slightly, my thumb is wrapped around, and I really have full control over my finger movement on the neck, really making an even movement up and down. It's not super high, it's not super low, it doesn't change. Let me show you what that would sound like if it was too different. See, that's uneven, we want the same movement up and down. So we're fluctuating from in tune to out of tune to in tune to out of tune to get that cool sound. So something you might find helpful when you're using vibrato is wrapping your thumb around the top of the neck. You might find it's easier to get a hold of the neck and to really wiggle your finger on the note. So another super simple exercise for you guys would be to once again try giving vibrato to the note with every single finger and also trying it all over the entire fretboard, whether it be down here on the low strings or all the way up here on the high strings. A pointer finger, middle, ring, and pinky. So let's play a lick here without vibrato. So sounds cool, but it's kind of lifeless. Now let's give it some vibrato and some life to it. You can see what a difference giving vibrato makes to the notes. So now the fun part. We're going to combine bending and vibrato together to get a really cool sound on the guitar. So essentially all we're doing is taking the two things we've already learned and we're just going to put them together. So we're going to bend the string up, and when we get to the top of the bend, when we are in tune matching the note of the next interval, we're going to give that vibrating feeling on our hand to give some life to the note. So now the fun part, we are going to combine bending and vibrato together. So we're going to take this note, the 15th fret on the B string, and we're going to bend it up till the 17th fret, and we are going to give it vibrato at the top. Here's another example. So that was a bend with vibrato and then a spicy little lick also ending on a note with vibrato. When you're learning this, it's going to be super fun to experiment with the feeling of the bending and the vibrato. And in fact, this is what makes so many different guitar players unique. Everyone has their own sound on the guitar. Everyone has a different attack. It's not only about the gear, which makes the tone, it's also the way the player attacks the neck and attacks the notes on the guitar. So some people, let's say Angus Young, really likes to vibrate nice and fast, whereas some others, more slow blues players, really get that note up there slowly and wiggle it nice and slow. I'm going to give you an example of that right now. And so what's super cool about that is that it's like a fingerprint on the guitar. You know, everyone's fingerprint is different, but what I'm trying to say is that on the guitar, when you're playing, having your own feel and your own vibrato, your own bending, your own way of attacking the notes is going to give you your own fingerprint, your unique sound on the guitar, which no one else has. So have a go at these exercises and try bending every single note, try giving vibrato to every note, try bending with vibrato, and just really have fun with it, and you'll see you'll find that you'll get some really cool sounds out of the guitar, and you'll start to enjoy your playing more. And like I said, you're going to give more life and soul to your playing, because you're actually giving you're putting your body into the guitar. You know, it's not just your fingers. When you're bending, when you're vibrating, you know, you really get your body into the guitar, which is super cool. So that's pretty much going to wrap it up for this video. In this video, I've explained to you how to bend the notes in tune, how to use vibrato, and how to combine the two together to get a really cool sound on the guitar. If this video was helpful and entertaining for you, please like and subscribe, and also leave a comment down below what else you'd like me to make on this channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.